Have you ever seen something that looks so simple cause so much chaos? I'm talking about a math problem. Seriously, one that looks like it's straight out of a middle school textbook but has literally sparked these furious online debates, maybe even ended a few friendships, and racked up millions of comments. So, okay, let's dive into this thing and figure out what all the fuss is really about. All right, here it is. Take a good look. How would you solve this? I mean, would you just start at the left and work your way across, like you're reading a book? It seems simple enough, right? But as thousands, maybe millions of people online have discovered, there's a trap hidden in plain sight. So, depending on how you decide to tackle this, you can end up with completely different results. It's crazy. Some people will confidently tell you the answer is 99. Others are just as certain, absolutely positive, that the answer is 1. And you know what the wildest part is? Neither of them is right. So, how can one little equation cause so much confusion? Well, that's the core of the problem we're about to solve together. Okay, so the good news is there is only one right answer. Math, you see, isn't about opinions. It's all about structure and rules. To bring some order back to this chaos, we just need to consult the Universal Math Rulebook. The one that mathematicians all over the world agree on. And that rulebook, it's called the Order of Operations. I love this analogy. Think of it as the grammar of math, right? Just like grammar gives us rules to build sentences so everyone can understand each other, the order of operations makes sure that a complex equation means the exact same thing to a scientist in Tokyo as it does to an engineer in California. It's all about clear, unambiguous communication. Now, to remember these rules, most of us probably learned a handy acronym in school, PEMDAS. So that's parentheses first, then exponents. But here's the crucial part, the part so many people forget. Multiplication and division, they're partners. They're on the same level of importance. You just solve them as they appear, from left to right. And guess what? The exact same rule applies to the final step, addition and subtraction. They're partners too. It's not always addition first. You just solve whichever one you see first as you read the line. Okay, awesome. With our rulebook with PEMDAS in hand, let's go back to that monster of a problem and just dismantle it piece by piece the right way. We're going to be methodical here, and I promise you, we are going to get to the one true answer. First up is P for parentheses. The rule is super clear on this. You solve whatever is inside the parentheses before you touch anything else. No exceptions. So our very first move is to solve that simple little 25 plus 25. And just like that, the parentheses are gone and our equation already looks a little simpler. Okay, next up in PEMDAS is E for exponents. Quick scan. Nope, we don't have any of those here. So we can move straight on to the next and, honestly, the most crucial step. All right, now it's time for M and D, multiplication and division. And remember the key rule. They're partners, so we just work our way from left to right. The very first thing we bump into is 25 times 25. Okay, so that gives us 625. But we're not done with this step yet. We have to keep scanning the whole line for any more multiplication or division before moving on. Moving along. There's the next one. It's a division problem. 25 divided by 25. And boof, that just becomes a 1. See? This expression is getting cleaner and cleaner with every single move. But we're not done yet. We have to keep scanning. Okay, scanning again, and yep, here's another division problem. 50 divided by 25. Let's knock that one out too. And that simplifies down really neatly to just 2. You see how following these rules systematically just prevents any confusion? It makes it so much easier. Okay, we have one last operation on this M and D level.
And there it is, our last multiplication. 2 times 25. This is the final piece of that big multiplication/division puzzle. And with that, we get 50. Phew, the hardest part is officially over. Now that we've cleared out all the parentheses, all the multiplication, and all the division, we're just left with a simple string of addition and subtraction. So now we're at the final level, A and S, addition and subtraction. And you know the drill by now, right? We just go from left to right. First up, 25 plus 625. That gives us 650. We are so close now, I can taste it. All right, continuing from the left. The very next thing in line is a subtraction, 650 minus 1. And that leaves us with just one simple calculation to find our final answer, 649 plus 50.
So there you have it. We followed the rules, we stayed patient, we navigated all that chaos, and we brought order to it using the universal language of math. And now the moment of truth has arrived. After all of that work, what is the one true answer?
It's $6.99, not 99, not 1, it's $6.99. That is the definitive, correct answer, and we got it by applying the order of operations perfectly. And that's the real beauty of math. When you follow the rules, everyone, everywhere arrives at the exact same truth.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? We just saw how having a clear, shared set of rules created total clarity out of what was complete chaos. It really makes you wonder, right? Where else in our world, outside of math, could we really use a universal rulebook to help us find the right answer together?